It's Insights with Latrese. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Insights with Latrese. I'm your host, Latrese Kabuya. I have such an amazing guest here, but before we get started, let's talk about me. Let's talk about following me. If you're not following me on the platforms, something's wrong with you. I need you to follow me on Facebook, on the gram, on Twitter, because these girls of mine have me doing TikToks, top tips, whatever you call them. And so I need you to follow me at Latrese Kabuya. That's TRESEKABUYA. So now we're going to get ready to get into some business. So I have such an amazing guest right now. We think entrepreneurship is a good thing, right? We love entrepreneurship, especially when it looks good on other people. But there's such a sacrifice to it. And I have Louis here today. His name is Louis Stancil. Is that
yes, Stancil? Correct.
Stancil. Here today that we're going to get into some insight on entrepreneurship, especially with what's going on. How do we get those creative juices flowing? But before I really officially introduce him, let me tell you about this man. So he's an acting coach. He's an actor too, just FYI. He saw the need to help talent better understand the entertainment industry. Through this talkback platform and with the help of top industry professionals, he has helped elevate careers of countless talent. We're going to talk about that because he knows everybody across the country. He was born in Baltimore, Maryland, but now you reside in Georgia?
Yes.
In Atlanta. Yeah, yes.
ATL. Hey.
Yes. Well, you know what? Welcome, Louis. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
So let's get right into it. As an entrepreneur, I know for me, what I felt is that you are the solution to someone's problem, okay?
Yeah.
And so I see you're an entrepreneur and you have all these different layers, and we'll talk about that. But now with the coronavirus, we like to call it Rona, because you know how we do. How has that affected you creatively? What have you had to do differently?
Well, it affected me in a great way, actually, because this market, the Southeast market for actors, when they go out for auditions, 95% of their auditions are on tape.
Okay.
So that means they have to be home, record themselves for an audition opportunity to submit to the casting director of Tyler Perry Studios, to submit to them for opportunities for movies and TV shows that are filmed in the Southeast. And that includes New Orleans and also Atlanta. And we all know or have heard in the news that this is Black Hollywood. Yeah. So with that being said, my actors, of course, we've been designed to meet up once or twice a week at the studio downtown. But because of this situation, it's given me a creative, idea to make the class all online right now, because that's how it is right now. So it's getting me a creative flow to figure out and design a course for at least 2 months or 3 months to work along this situation, because artists still need to be working out.
Absolutely. And I like the fact that it didn't stop you. Unfortunately, for some people, this situation, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the coronavirus. It can be anything in your life that can just stop you, right?
Yeah.
So this is just another one of those things that could really happen, but you have to push forward. So the position that you're in right now, right, which is a really good position, there has had to be some sacrifices, Louis.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, everyone's looking at you now like, man, I want to be on that train. But talk about the sacrifices that you've had to make to get where you are now.
Oh, family, relationship, my own.
I am the dating queen, sir. Do you have a relationship?
I'm not in a relationship. I'm dating though, but I'll be 30 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So with that being said, there's been some sacrifices because throughout my career, I moved a lot.
Okay.
So I lived in New York, and then I lived in LA, and then now I'm here. So it's like I had to, God, family, and career. So those were my priorities, and my career was taking off. So I had to, sacrifice some things, especially my family. Number one, both of my parents are deaf. So I've been raised in a household where my mom and dad are deaf. They can't hear or speak. So I always had to be an interpreter for my parents. So with that being said, being detached away from my mom, who I've always been around, being an interpreter, now she's, not around me. That was a sacrifice, So it's like, it's my family's everything to me.
Yeah.
And that was a sacrifice. But it was the seeds has definitely reaped, and it's a great bloom, and my family are seeing the rewards for sure.
And speak on that, because again, as an entrepreneur, a lot of times people want that gratification right now, but there's delayed gratification. You have to work, and you got to fight, and you got to sweat sometimes, right? So talk about that. Talk about those days where you were away from your parents and it looked like it wasn't going to work. How did you push through?
Yeah. For me, so I've been raised in a household of Christianity, so I believe in God. Yeah. So during that time when I start to feel heavy, I start praying, I start, listening to gospel music, going to church, staying prayed up and persevering. And thank God for my Aries nature of just like, hey, you got to keep it going. And usually I just stick with the plan that I wrote out. So if I envisioned it, then I just attack it. And the worst thing that could happen is hearing a no. But even when I hear a no, there's many other doors that God can open up. And I saw doors open up. But I knew that I was in my purpose because the doors were opening, and it was effortlessly done. So it didn't take a lot of effort.
That's
so
good.
That was the thing.
Let's talk about, tap into that, because you said a couple of things. You said vision, right? Which we know in Habakkuk 2, write the vision, make it plain. Don't play with me. I know the word. I'm married to baby Jesus. Listen, my husband, listen. So I know the word. But then you talked about purpose, because we're on this earth for a purpose, right? To serve people with our gifts. So talk about, how did you find your purpose? Because you could have went a whole different other route. Talk to me.
So my purpose is to cultivate others' gifts. That's simple as that. So I noticed that I was pulled to the industry because both of my parents are deaf, which I mentioned earlier. Yeah. So I was always paying attention to human behavior, because my mom can just sign and say anything, but deep down inside, is she mad? Is she happy? Is she excited? Through the words, through her expression. So I was always intrigued, and I was always people watching. So around 14, 15, around the Wire days, I knew a lot of cats that was on the Wire in Baltimore. And then I started getting into church plays. And then I was pulled into the industry from there. But my mindset was I was going to be an actor. That was it. I was only going to be an actor. I was interested in being an actor. However, I noticed that when I started getting around actor friends, writers, directors, I always tried to connect them, and I saw doors opening quicker for that of just connecting. Can you hear me?
I can, a little bit. You went out a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Yeah. So what I was saying is I saw doors opening quicker when I started connecting them to other individuals. So I was like, okay, is this my gift? And then when I start opening up my first company, when I worked for a talent agency, and I started my own business, and the business took off. In a matter of 2.5 years, I was named one of the top 5 by the Hollywood Reporter. So I was like, okay, I'm receiving so much joy, because
Yeah.
I'm not being selfish of, hey, I want to get it, but I got so much reward helping thousands of other talent just getting connected or one step closer.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, okay, God. And then I got sued for $1 million. And that's where, you there?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, somebody was calling me, sorry.
You're busy. I get it.
You see me now? That was actually my lawyer, so I gotta call him back later. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, so I got sued for $1 million, right? So that's where a lot of people think entrepreneurship is so easier. Yeah. But when you get to a level of dominion, that's when the attacks are greater. So that's when you still have to persevere.
Yeah.
Right?
And
because
not
quit, because also what I've learned, Miles Monroe said this, and I love it. He said, discontent is the seed for change. So when you're going through the motions, that's when you need to take a pause, like Rona, because this is affecting me right now. But that's when we have to persevere. And I'm like, okay, it's a seed for change, for the greater. Yeah. Because, you know, a mango seed has to be planted in the earth, and it got to go through the dirt and the watering and the suppressing and the changes of the season, the storms, and then boom, we all reap the reward of eating. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, okay, we could preach.
You know, I was going to say, are we going to do this podcast, or are we going to go ahead and start preaching? I'm good with either one right now, because it's so needed. Because again, entrepreneurship is, I think, can be for anyone who wants to and desire and will take that leap of faith.
Absolutely.
But you said something too. You work for someone else. So you were at someone else's vineyard for a while.
Oh, can I get on that?
Come on.
So Miles Monroe said this too. Everyone, please go listen to Miles Monroe.
Yes.
Dr. Miles Monroe said, give your gift away for free.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what that means is, I remember when I was working at Wilhelmina, I was an intern.
Okay.
That internship of just opening doors turned to me being a full agent.
Okay.
2 years later, working with celebrities and whatnot. And then that led to me opening my own company. And then I got sued. And then I had to close that company down. Yeah. And then now, a whole year and 2 months later, I'm back in this position.
Yeah.
So that does not mean that it comes to a stop. It's just going through some changes right now. So I had to give my gift away for free. And all my actors that walk through my door at LS Studios, I let them know immediately, you are an entrepreneur. You're a business. So you have to treat yourself as a business.
Yeah.
So with that being said, to add to your point, I totally agree with you in the sense of that actors need to understand of give their gift away for free so that more people can see it. And drug dealers know it. They give their first sample away for free so that they can talk about it.
Yes.
If no one knows who you are,
right,
you don't exist. Yeah. So give your gift away for free.
Yeah, because it's just for a season. Because you have to first plant the seed, right? And that's what that is. And then you're going to reap that harvest. And then you can charge what is necessary.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And people get it backwards, because again, we want that gratification right now.
Now.
So you pay me. No. Because I'm going to tell you, Latrese K right here has given this gift for free on many occasions. But God has always opened doors of opportunity that are, like you said, effortlessly. Me being on TV, effortlessly. The door was just open and I walked through it. We could talk forever. Let's talk about your layers, because for me, and I see for you, you have so many different layers as an entrepreneur, because now you're running the thing, but at one point you were an actor, you know, and now you are giving your gift by helping and shaping celebrities that now are tapping into the acting field. Talk to me about that.
It's still surreal, to be honest with you, because literally in 2 weeks is my birthday.
Birthday, 30, wait a minute, dirty 30?
Dirty 30.
I'm almost 50, so I'm way.
You look great. Black don't crack. Black don't crack.
Right?
No, it's surreal to even hear you say that, because it's definitely a marathon, not a race.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mindset, well, I'll give you a different perspective. A lot of people see this thing, this industry, who have one perspective, and I always didn't have that. I was like, if this isn't working, what other avenues can I have? And I always tell my artists that you come from an actor, you can end up being a showrunner.
Yeah.
You just never know. So you have to open up yourselves to, you know, the other opportunities, from script writing to, you know, being a director, you know. So for me, just the speed track, you know, I started out in church plays, then I ended up interning at different talent agencies, and then I started interning at different casting offices because of my sign language capabilities.
Okay.
So working with deaf artists that was coming in for auditions, and then getting the knowledge from that way. And then I ended up working for a really big agency in New York, which I mentioned earlier, Wilhelmina. And then from there, that started my own company. And then from there, that made me to where the platform that I have now. But I do have to thank my mentor, because I believe people should have a mentor and a mentee. Yeah. So my mentor at the time, and I believe in divine connection.
Yes.
So my mentor at the time was Dustin Felder, and unfortunately he passed away in October last year. So rest in peace, Dustin. But Dustin was the acting coach to the stars, such as Will and Jada Pinkett's son, Jaden Smith, and Willow Smith, and the Marlon family. Yeah. Like, he was a major acting coach. So he was my mentor. I met him on Love in Baltimore in 2011. A year later, met him on After Earth with Will and Jaden Smith. And then 2 years later, when I opened up my own studio, out of all the studios that I wanted to rent out in LA, it was the same building as Dusty. So I was like, okay, God. Yeah. But I didn't have an aha moment until after. So I got sued and I moved back to Baltimore. I started feeling like my life was falling apart. Yeah. So then I was like, let me come to Atlanta. And I started working for a production company as a casting director in 2017, January. Then that movie ended up getting into a film festival in LA. And I was like, let me go stop by Dustin's school. And I was like, yo, you should have a school in Atlanta. There's nothing there. He was like, you're my business partner. So from there, from July of 2017 all the way to October, that's when he passed away, of last year, we've been business partners, and we was DFAST Atlanta. And then now I'm at LS Studios. So my perspective has changed. Yeah. When I hear that you see movies and you hear like you're moving a legacy, of course, I get it, because I was like, if I haven't had Dustin, I would not be in this platform that my mentor that I'm in now. So I thank him, but I more importantly thank God, because that was divine connection, that was divine order.
Absolutely, and you have to have a sponsor, you know, to get to that next level, and then you can't forget it, because now you have to be someone's sponsor. That's the key too.
And I'm like getting chills, because I was like, man, like, this is the stuff that you see on TV.
And you're living it, sir. You're living it. And I want to hear about these projects that are coming up. I know a big one is actually coming up here with Meek Mill.
Yeah.
So I was telling my kids, because I'm trying to stay cool. And so I said, he works with Meek Mills. And they just looked at me like, no. You messed it up. So Meek Mill, okay?
Meek Mill.
I know how tall he was. Like, he's a giant. So let's talk about the project that's coming up with you.
Okay. So it's about a Baltimore teenager. His character name is Mouse. That's played by Jahi Winston. Very talented individual who is that's in Queen and Slim, and also from the New Edition movie. Also had his own series, but he's phenomenal. He's leading in this project.
Okay.
He's torn between becoming a veterinarian or... You there?
Uh-oh.
You there? Okay.
Yeah.
He's torn becoming a veterinarian or joining a midnight clique, which is a dirt bike gang. That's the leader is the character name is Black. That's starred by Meek Mill. So it's inspired by the documentary 12 O'Clock Boys on Netflix, and the actual kid name is Pug. So yeah, it's like how I can wrap it up. It's like a Boys in the Hood that meets Fast and the Furious.
It's really good. The trailer was excellent. Like, I am so excited when this is. What date is it released on Netflix?
So it's going to be August 14th.
I gotta wait that long.
Yeah, it was going to come out my birthday weekend, but because of Rona. Because of Rona.
We ain't playing with Rona no more. You understand? Yeah. She got to go. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my God, this is so, I mean, I was in it to win. Yeah. It is really good. What else is going on with you? What other things can we see going on in 2020?
Absolutely. So speaking of the studio, so it's LS Acting Studios. Y'all can go to lsactingstudios.com. So we have a school in Atlanta and also in Los Angeles. So we have a plethora of acting coaches that teaches our acting classes, our Get Real for Demo Reel, for Rodney Perry leading our improv classes, to, commercial classes, to, script writing. So if you want to learn how to pitch your project and get it shopped to a network, we have those teachers. So
improv. I looked at your list.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Very impressive. Very impressive, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
And so I think that all these different classes, now, do you teach them or you have other people teach them? Because you got it like that. I'm just asking.
I do have teachers, but I'm also leading our acting class here in Atlanta. So I do teach. But outside of that, some of my actors are landing series regular roles. So shout out to Makai Curtis, who is the series lead in 50 Cent new TV show, Raising Kanan.
Perfect. Yeah.
So that's one of my clients. Yeah. So if you hear, it's the spinoff of Power. So he just landed the role and he plays young 50 Cent. So that's a project coming out. And DJ Watts is in a new series called The Mighty Ducks. So if you remember way back when,
so you're making impact for others. Again, impacting lives, impacting generations. So let me just throw this at you because I like to do this. Before we close, I got a couple more questions for you.
Yeah.
So one, of all the celebrities that you would like to work with, not because of anything other than this is just something I want to do, who would you want to work with and why? Don't choose me. Don't.
Okay.
Don't.
Man, I was going to shout you out. Because I can't use you, I will use Jamie Foxx.
Tell me why.
Down.
What?
He's phenomenal.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's phenomenal. Yeah. His range is impeccable. But to get more technical, the impediments that he does. So I'm really big on impediments, like disabled folks. Yeah. So both my parents are deaf.
Yeah.
So his impediments is great, from The Soloist when he played a schizophrenia guy, to being Ray when he was blind, to the range of his comedic timing, to his artistry of singing. Like, yo, Jamie, let's work, man. And then on top of
Jamie,
his daughter is also disabled. I think the daughter, I think one of his child
the youngest one.
The youngest one is disabled. So he has a lot of care in his heart. So I'm like, yo, Jamie is phenomenal.
Let's do it.
I would love to be Jamie's friend, for sure.
Absolutely. And after this, you're going to have a lot more friends because you're an amazing individual, an amazing human.
Thank you.
And so this is...
I inherit that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I hate to do this because we're wrapping up. They're telling me to wrap up here, and I don't always wrap up, but I need to. Because they can always find you, because we're going to talk about where they can find you, how they can get into your classes, all of that. But the one last thing, because it's called Insights with Latrese, I want you to leave our listening audience and also those that are watching via Facebook, and all the other platforms, your biggest lesson along this journey, because we literally, we could get on the phone right now and probably talk about for 3 hours, right? But let's condense it. What is that biggest lesson that has carried you from A to Z that just keeps showing up in your life through the good and high points, through the challenges, opportunities? What is that biggest lesson along this journey?
I got to be really honest with you. That took a while until my business partner passed away.
Okay.
And that's where I had the aha moment. Yeah. That you definitely, and he was 39 when he passed away. So you definitely need to live. Okay, so it's long, okay? Yeah. You need to live every day like it's your last. You also, it's not about when you were born or when you die. It's about what you left, right? And keeping it going. So I know he's in heaven right now rejoicing because we're still doing the work. Yeah. Right? So that's what it left me with. Like, I'm like, yo, thank God that I get it. So with that being said, I want to leave this with anybody that's listening or watching or, reading. And it's not my words, but Denzel Washington said this, that imagine you're on your deathbed and you have these spirits that come to you that are your time, your purpose, and your gifts. And imagine that they're disgruntled and angry over top of you on your deathbed because they said, we came to you and we asked that you please brought me out. But now that you didn't, we have to go to the grave with you. So I don't want to be that person where I did not take advantage of my time or my gift or my purpose. I want those gift spirits to be rejoicing and not disgruntled or angry. So,
that's good. That's good. And just like Miles Monroe talks about, the richest place is in the graveyard because you have books, you have all these different untapped gifts that never did what it needed to do while on this earth. And so with that, there's really nothing more to say than how can we follow you? How can we stay connected to you? Absolutely. How can we get in your classes?
Absolutely. So the beauty of my studio, lsactingstudios.com, is that we don't just teach you the core factor of the training aspect. We teach you how to go get the bag as well, meaning we teach you the business. Yeah. So that's the beauty of what separates us from any studio or any school, is that we teach you how to leave our class and actually go and do the work. Wow. So we're in Atlanta. We're downtown Atlanta and also in the heart of Hollywood. So follow us on IG or any platforms, LS Acting Studios. Okay. I'm sorry. You could go to lsactingstudios.com and then our IG and Facebook is on there. Okay. lsactingstudios.com.
Wow. Well, this has been a pleasure. I know everyone listening, watching is have 3 or 4 pages of notes because you knocked some nuggets. You gave some true insight. Just bigger than the entrepreneur journey, right? Just in life, just in general, how to conduct yourself, right? Live it like it's your last, right? Tap into those gifts, right? Yeah. Find that sponsor and then be a sponsor. Yeah. And enjoy life through it all. And don't let nothing stop you. So, Louis.
And I thank my praying grandmama. Thank you, Gunga.
Can we just do this for that praying grandma? Right?
Yes.
And she has carried you. Her prayers has carried you. Definitely. And you are a fine young man. And so I appreciate your time and thank you so much.
This was great to have Insight with Latrese.
Insights. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for joining us this week on Insights with Latrese, where we talk about real life, real you, real good. Make sure to subscribe to the show in iTunes
Google Play, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you find value in the show, we'd appreciate if you simply tell a friend about the show. For more information on how to be a guest or to book Latrese, visit us at www.latresekabuya.com. Be sure to tune in next Sunday as we stream live on Facebook for our next episode.